Well, hello there and good day. Thank you so much for joining me at Dystopian Report, the place where we talk about the nightmare world we found ourselves living in. I'm your host, Jesse Pullman, and today is Wednesday, February 18th, 2026, at about 4:30 p.m. Eastern as I make this video. Today, we're going to be talking about Amazon beginning what we expect to be a long process of censoring queer and erotic literature via the means of demonetization. In other words, making it impossible, or difficult at least, to purchase material which they have deemed ineligible for incorporation into affiliate programs and other such financial solutions. Let's talk real quick about our source. This is a post by queer literature platform iHeart Sapphics founder T.B. Markinson. She's also an author. There will be a link in the description below to the article. To sum it up briefly, she describes how she woke up one morning to find that certain affiliate program links with Amazon were broken, and it was because of the content of the literature. Totally legal, totally literary merit style stuff. In other words, nothing crazy, right? This will tie into previous discussions on this channel about the Kids Online Safety Act and how the concept of something being unsafe is being exploited to do exactly what we predicted it would: censor voices that are, for whatever reason, disapproved of. Let's dive in, read some of it, and then talk about it. So, here we have the post. How IHS is responding to terrifying changes at Amazon. That is an accurate depiction. This is TB's writing. She says, most mornings I start my day off by checking to ensure our universal links are operating as they should. For those who don't know, this is a special type of link that lets you click on a product from anywhere in the world and be automatically directed to your home marketplace. With me so far? With me so far. Good. There's a lot of stuff here that I'm going to skip for the sake of making this as concise as possible, but I do encourage you to read this all. As I poked around this time, I noticed, this is a thing that happens. Normally, she'll deal with 6 to 12 bad links in a week. But as she poked around this time, she noticed something else was going on. I wasn't getting the usual error messages. This issue was something new, and it had to do with Amazon Associates. This is a program through which Amazon pays websites like ours a small commission if a customer buys a product after clicking the link on our site. So you see how there's all these books on the right-hand side of your screen. If you're just listening, there's books on the right-hand side of the screen. You can click on one of those. It will bring you to an Amazon purchase page where the person posting this thing is like an ad will get a commission. So if I was to buy a book, TB would get a little bit of money from it, right? Now, when you log out of your Amazon account, you see one thing, right? You just see the books page. When you're logged in as an influencer and associate, you have an extra special little spot at the top that will tell you about the product's eligibility for affiliate programs. And this book that was written by T.B. Markinson herself and Miranda McLeod, A Choreography of Longing, if you're wondering, if you're just listening, is now an excluded product. Normally the field tells you the commission rate for the product I'm looking at and gives me a way to create a link that is tagged with my account, but not this time. The red arrow I've added points at this issue. Amazon Associates is letting me know that this book, which happens to be one by Miranda and me, is excluded from Associates. I have been in the Associates program since 2018, and I had never seen an excluded product warning before in a book. Given that I know this particular book pretty well, having co-authored it, I was alarmed. Why would they exclude my book? Did I do something wrong? She emails Amazon. They send her a boilerplate thing. The usual stuff, right? You email them. They're like, yeah, we've heard your concerns. Okay. They made it sound like the issue is a result of a recent change that was temporarily, we don't know, impacting books published after January 20th. Our new release came out January 21st, so this tracked. This was annoying, but at the time we chalked it up to a bug in the system that would eventually be fixed. Meanwhile, the number of bad links on my Genius Link dashboard was growing by the hour. Is this a targeted book ban? Is the next section. As Miranda, I'm sorry, that's the wrong author. As TD, I hope TD. I'm getting this person's name wrong. I'm so sorry. TB, I'm sorry. I just think tuberculosis, and my brain just says, like, that can't be it, but it is. I apologize. As I started to investigate these books, I noticed something that made me extremely queasy. It wasn't solely new releases. There was also a certain category of books that was being impacted in a big way. Erotica. And not just sapphic erotica. I did a little bit of digging and look what I found. 50 Shades of Grey is an excluded product. It's not a new release, so the January 20th excuse didn't hold up. Something else is going on. Amazon continues to give boilerplate answers. Genius Links is little defensive, asking if this is being targeted towards erotica. So TB went through the top 10 books on different erotica charts of different categories, so male, female, etc., etc. And most of the time, all 10 of the top books were excluded. They got gentle pushback saying it wasn't solely erotica being demonetized, which was true, but erotica was getting hit the hardest. Finally, BookLinker issued an official statement confirming what I have been telling them for weeks. This is from their announcement. Quote, Amazon has implemented a significant policy change. Product-level ASIN data will no longer be provided for products Amazon classifies as, quote, unsafe. From our initial checks, the impacted books tend to contain more mature themes, including sexual and violent content. Okay. I'm going to do a quick scan read just to make sure there's nothing else particularly important. And there is one thing that is very important, which is that TB is well aware. For us, this is a red line. This is the beginning of a stage of censorship we feared since we first heard the term Project 2025. Now, obviously, I would encourage you to go read the rest of this article, find out how you can support iHeart, Sapphic, and other queer creative readers and writers and creators, because I'm one of them. So, like, hi, people. We're full screen again. And I don't know if you know this, but I write a lot of literature. That's one of my jobs, like writing, right? I've got a few books out, like 8. I have another one coming out this spring. And especially the one coming out this spring, but most of them have some degree of queer elements in them. Now, TB's article stresses that this is primarily erotica being targeted. But things never stay that way. They never stay that way. What's considered unsafe, they always go after the visible stuff first, right? Like 50 Shades of Grey was visible. But while they do that, they go after anything that could be considered unsafe. So if you have a scene where, for example, 2 wives interact with each other, and those interactions even imply sexuality, well, that could be considered unsafe by some. I mean, Marsha Blackburn considers it unsafe, and she's one of the co-authors of COSA. She considers it unsafe for white children to learn about slavery. That's harmful to them. It could hurt their little souls. If you don't know I'm white, it's kind of like a thing. Like, this is ridiculous, but like, this is what people are trying to make an argument about when they talk about kids' safety online. And now all of a sudden Amazon is shutting down just one avenue of payment. You'll still get paid if you buy the book, but now I can't advertise the book. They have to just find the book their own way or whatever. You can't earn money as an advertiser. So what this does is this shuts down the book review market, because iHeart Sapphic is a community about a certain type of book. Yes, it's about lesbianism, generally speaking, in the very broadest of sense. I don't know. Sapphic is just like very lesbian. That's just, I don't know romance. I don't know erotica. That's not really my bag, but like, I'm just telling you the very basics here. And if I'm wrong, correct me in the comments, please. I'm open to taking direction. But I'm also, if you haven't been able to tell, kind of a guy. So I don't know. It's frustrating because as an author to see this happen is just depressing. And as a queer person, I know where this is going. It's not just going to stop at erotica or whatever they define as erotica, which could be my work, even though my work really doesn't have much on the page. It's got implied stuff, and that is dangerous enough. But then to have stuff on the page, if I ever wanted to write that, and I have a book sitting in a bag, which definitely has some in the trunk. It's called the trunk novel because it stays in the trunk, because I haven't figured out how to get it out of the trunk and make it rehabilitatable to work, and it might not be workable. But there's stuff in there that calls back to some things that happened to me in my life that were painful and harmful. And to do that, to write that, and put that on the page takes a lot out of the soul. And then to be told, well, that's harmful or unsafe? What? And like, I've always been hesitant about publishing it. I'm even more hesitant now. Not that I was going to in the first place. So just from like an author's perspective, like that's a thing. But yeah. Anyway, I've talked your ear off enough. They're coming. This is Project 2025, like TB said. This is just gonna be a thing that we have to be aware of. I want to thank you all so much for joining me. If you appreciate this video, if it was able to help you in some way, if it was able to make you aware of a new resource for your community, if it was able to make you aware of a new situation that you can maybe do something about, and there are things you can do, and TB suggests a few things in her article, then do, hit the like, share, subscribe, friend, follow, or whatever buttons. It really does help the channel grow. It lets me know what you're watching so I can keep making more of it. I really do appreciate it from the very bottom of my heart. I have a Blue Sky account. Follow me there. And I do post politics stuff there, but I also post like writing stuff there. So thank you all so much for joining me. I appreciate your time, and as always on this channel, pieces.